So grateful that you're with us on this journey through Lent, preparing our hearts for the Easter celebration at Revival Tabernacle and at New City Church. Today we're in John chapter 15. Jesus tells his disciples, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing." Jesus is saying, I am the vine. It's the last of his 7 I am statements in John's gospel. And its significance can be appreciated only against the background of the Old Testament idea of Israel as God's vineyard. In Psalm chapter 80 and Isaiah chapter 5, it talks about this God tending to his vineyard Israel so that it will bear fruit, and his frustration at times where Israel would not bear the fruit that he intended to bear. Jesus says, I am the one who's bearing the fruit that Israel was supposed to bear. Jesus being the true vine in the sense of being genuine as compared with Israel, which had never acted in harmony with its calling. Jesus is saying, I'm the reality that Israel was always pointing toward. The gardener, who's the Father, is responsible to care for the vine. And so Jesus says, apart from the vine, branches can do nothing. When you realize today there is nothing in you that is going to produce good fruit, fruit that's pleasing to God, until you're connected to Jesus, then all of a sudden this takes on meaning. I can't do anything apart from him. You see, I can work or I can bear fruit, and there's a difference between work and fruit. A machine is going to do work, but fruit only happens through connection. It only happens being connected to a source. And when it is connected, it happens naturally because of the life that is working and connected to it. Fruit doesn't come from effort. It comes from connection. And so think about that today, all the work that we do, and ask yourself, is there fruit coming from my work? Am I connected to the vine? Because if you aren't connected to the vine, you aren't going to produce fruit. So the enemy in our lives as branches is anything that disconnects us from the source. Whatever can get between you remaining or abiding in the vine, that's the enemy in your life. That's going to keep you from bearing fruit. If you get separated from the branch, you dry up. And you become easy picking for people who are gathering, right? There are always people who are looking for dry, brittle spirits to gather up. The branch that is connected never gets dry. But what it does get is it gets pruned. The branch that doesn't get pruned is going to do this. From what I understand about those vine branches, it might grow leaves and it might be alive, but it isn't going to bear fruit. And so the gardener comes in and continues to prune those leaves back so that actual fruit will grow. You see the difference between a beautiful vine or a great show and the real fruit? It's the knife of the gardener. Just like the psalmist said, it was good that I was afflicted. The knife is what cuts off those branches that are what the gardeners call sucker shoots, right? They're leaves, but they don't actually bear fruit. And so God takes the knife to our lives, and it hurts when God cuts those suckers out of your life. And even though we might look good with our leaves and the branches that are growing, if we don't bear fruit, the gardener is going to take the knife to those areas of our lives where he wants to see fruit grow. And then here's the beauty of this: when we are connected, when we're willing to let the gardener prune us and take the knife to areas of our lives that need pulling back or that need cutting back, then you live in this reality. What Jesus says, ask whatever you wish and it will be given to you. That's the key. When we get through the connection, when we get through the gardener and the pruning, then we ask whatever we wish and it will be given to us. Praise God.